Greetings and citations. This is Rick Copple coming at you from Denver, Colorado. Another episode of Auto Industry. Today we're going to take a look at Manjaro XFCE. Yeah, should be fun. So let's dig right into it. And now you should be looking at my XFCE Manjaro desktop. There's really nothing on here to indicate it's XFCE desktop until you open up the menu on here and you go, oh looky, it's Whisker menu. I haven't changed anything on the looks of this or anything. I've only installed one program, Giddy. OBS is running from a Apple app image, so the only thing I've done is just installed Kitty like this, and I've also set key bindings to do that. Yeah, I've kind of become a Kitty addict, so to speak, because Kitty's on all the distributions repositories pretty much, so it's always there and easy to install. I just type in sudo whatever package manager you're using and install Kitty, and it installs it. Alright, let's get on with this. Let's see, HTOP. Yeah, this mechanical keyboard's hard for me to type on sometimes. Okay, you have your CPUs. I got four processors, CPU processors on here. And I've got 837 megabytes out of 16 gigabytes of RAM. Now the RAM here also includes OBS, which is one of the reasons why you see the CPU's working at it as well. That tells you a little bit about what the system's doing. And I think we've installed that. And you can see right there, you're in the Kitty terminal, and you can see that you got X11, XF Window Manager, XFCE 4.16.0. Now you need to learn more information about the system I'm using and name. So yeah, using the standard Manjaro Linux 5.10.53 kernel. And that's pretty standard for Manjaros, I guess, because most all the Manjaros I think have been about 5.10 point something there. That's decent kernel. Not the most up to date you can get, but pretty up to date. Now we're going to check the menu system. Whisker menu is a pretty popular menu. Up here, your terminal, and now it uses the XFCE terminal. I don't remember which one it was. And then you have your settings up here. It says settings manager. Lock screen. Switch user or log out. And you also got the same power button down here. Well, you shut down your computer if you wanted to. You hit log out, restart, shut down, hybrid, sleep, hibernate, suspend, switch user. We don't want to do any of that right now, of course, otherwise it ends this video pretty quick. So we have that. Go settings manager, so what we got over here. Alright, got about me and appearances. Yeah, this is the style you're using. You can go to different things. I think it's on Matcha C. So on Matcha Alzu, say like that, that would make that changes. Mainly it's going to be in the panels that you made changes. And there's my Azul, which is blue. Light Azul. One of the this one's light. So I like this pretty much one of the standard ones they came on. pretty good. And if you wanted to add more, you could download them and put them in your folders. And you add it by clicking on here and going to it and clicking on it. But yeah. So then over here's icons. And they're using Papyrus Maja. Now you need light Maja, dark Maja. Too high contrast, I should change it. So there you go, there's a change. Let's go back to that and you add same function. You got your fonts, your default font. We'll see in italic if you wanted to. Why you want to, but there you go. Why would you want to do this? I don't know. You make it look different, I suppose. And let it. Alright. Yeah, your general settings over here. Show images on buttons, show images in menus. Enable editable accelerators. Enable event sounds, which most people don't like. It's annoying for the most part. Yelling. Just system-wide display stuff. Back to all settings. And you got your file manager settings. Interesting to have those here. Check it out. Okay, same thing I guess you get if you went to the settings within the file manager itself. Nice, I guess. And Kavanta Manager, which is a theme downloader for installing, selecting, manipulating themes, Kavanta themes. Text editor settings, panel, notification, and I wonder what they got there. Okay, display, hot panel mode. How about hide the panel? Never. Intelligently, always. Intelligent is always good to me. Measuring, you increase the row size. You can also increase the number of rows. Increase the length of it at 100% currently. Automatically increase the length. Wonder if you wanted to change this into a dock, you could do that. Looks like you should be able to do that, huh? Let's yeah, there you go, there you go, there you go. They do that. Center it that way, and you have yourself your little dock. What you could do, probably what would be ideal, would be to create a top bar, another panel, put all the stuff in the top panel, and just have your icon sets down here for your other things. And yeah, you could do that. Yeah, you could do that. Set it back the way it was, and we'll move on. Appearance, dark mode. Oh, we like dark mode. There's dark mode. Yeah, it's more easier on the eyes if you like me. Top background none. It's just, some people like it, some people don't. Some people like light mode better. You manually set it, say like a 20. Going into smaller icon sets and use less panel space and that kind of thing. Alright, let's items. Yeah, that's the items you have on this bar here, all your widgets and stuff that you have through here. Clock, action button, pulse audio plugin, system tray plugin, all these things. Whisker menu, which is right over here. You add and remove things, like say you wanted to add something. So, okay, here's what you got. Now if you wanted to add a battery monitor, if you had a laptop, you can do that. Let's see, I'm thinking they probably have their sensor thing here, like we had in the last video. Good notes on there. There it is, sensor plugin. Let's configure it first. What we have in the menu. Which we have all applications, accessories. You have your application finder, your bulk rename, your catfish file search, clipboard manager, archive manager, G calculator, GTK hash, HP device manager, quantum manager, quantum, light DM, Manjaro user guide for beginners, menu editor, mouse pad, notes, ideal for your quick notes, screenshot, sensor viewer, show sensor values, software token. There you go. And games you have, ta-da, Steam is installed. If you have any Steam game you play Steam, it comes pre-installed on here. And graphics, you got GIMP, you got color picker, and you got your I can't say that, Viewner, it's Imager basically. Then you have Firefox, like these server browsers up here. Yeah, hey, Chat, Pigeon, Steam, Thunderbird. Multimedia, you have Audacious, listen to the music, Pulse Audio, yeah, this test utility and this video capture utility. Never use those, so I don't know how well they work, but yeah. VLC media player and your CD, DVD burner. Xburn. Then you have your Office. Then you have Adobe Document Viewer and a Tab Document Viewer, it says. You have a dictionary. So you have to go on an Office suite, you have to install it yourself. One other. That's a HP scanner. I don't have HP, so you have all your settings here. But your one thing went through up there in your system. Now, one of the things we haven't discussed yet is that we have keyboard shortcuts. But your shortcuts for keyboards are in different spots depending on what application you want to use them on. Like, for instance, you go on your application shortcuts, you go there. Then you might be better if we just show shortcut. So you can do your application shortcuts through here, you do your Windows shortcuts through Window Manager. So anyway, I wanted just do your shortcuts for window manager. You over here, you go to keyboard on there. And you have all your space. You see Alt space is Windows operations menu. Alt space. Okay, give me this action. Oh, I see. It's Windows application. So it's what same thing if you post right here. Same thing if you right click over here, you get the same thing. So anyway, that's what that is now. Up, down, left, right. Cancel, escape. That's where you change your window manager keys, and then you wanted to change your, I spell it correctly. Your applications are under keyboards. That's where you set all your launch file manager, all that kind of stuff. Now, I did this where I entered this in twice for, because I had this www, but I wanted to actually open up my web browser on Super B key. But it wasn't in there just one time, so I thought, well, let's see if we can add another one. So I did that. So if you want to have more than one key binding for one application, you do that. Just add it in twice. Control escape brings up that, which is you go to terminal, standard terminal, that kind of thing. So yeah, so I have that, and I think down here somewhere you get the I use this drop down terminal for standard. XFCE terminal. SSC terminal emulator. Yeah, it's a specific was drop down one. I can use the not drop down one if you wanted to, but they drop down off. You see the XFCE terminal. Your XFCE terminal. Control Alt T, so then I got Kitty up here, which is what I normally use. And yeah, so if you want to add, say I want to add a LibreOffice, if I had LibreOffice installed on here, I don't, so this won't work, but add LibreOffice on here. First one, speed visitor command, so I can spell LibreOffice Writer. Yeah, press the key, so I need to use W on there. There it is, LibreOffice. They categorize these alphabetically, so you have to look in where it's alphabetically falling here. Shift Super W. I meant to actually do Shift Control W, but yeah, you get the idea anyway. And I don't have that installed. Now let's go install it and see what you do, huh? So we go here, we're try out the Add Software Manager, okay? Add root software. Let's see what this says. Okay. Going up here. Go to categories, groups, repositories. On here. Office. Groups, I'm not sure groups are. Partially tools. All sorts of different things like that. Repositories. The core repositories. extra repositories, and I see it's different repositories, community repositories, and your multi-lib repository. Let's see what in the search for item here. There you go. Let's say I want to install, let's see, LibreOffice Fresh. I have my program Fresh. Extra points if you know what movie that saying's from or is referring to. Your individual products, so you install this and you install them, I think. Yeah. We install that. Apply. Pairing. Give me my password at some point. So, oh, I see you guys. And it's all the dependencies, and you gotta choose application. After the installation of the refreshing community databases, and so apply this down, apply, and downloading keyring. And that first. That's downloading LibreOffice. And so that's how you do that, and that's how it works pretty much. I personally prefer just using terminal and using sudo pacman, but if you want to, you can use this fun pamac thing, pacman pamac. Alright, let's drop a C out and see what it says, how it works. Pamac. Okay, we'll come back to this when it's done. Okay. Alright, it says we're done with installing LibreOffice, and I installed Stale, or I should say Stale there. LibreOffice Stale. It's not fresh, right? Ah. So LibreOffice Stale is what I installed accidentally, but no biggie. I don't need this to be my writing computer or anything, I'm just doing it as an illustration. So, yeah, if you want to delete it, remove this out of here, just hit that, boom. Takes all the stills out of there. Yeah. Now we should be able to bring up the LibreOffice for putting, let's see, Super Shift W, and it pops up. A router pops up. And there you go. Pretty cool, huh? So that's an example of not only the installation of that, but also the key binding that I set up for it, just as you saw me do it. So a lot of people like the Rofi program to open up their items on launchers, my launch menu. And you might be tempted to install it on this system, but wait 1 minute. Wait 1 minute. Aside from this being like Rofi-like thing, you can pull up anything like Firefox. If I spell right, well, you don't have Firefox like that. Otherwise, you also have another application here that's called Application Finder. It's almost Rofi-like in its things. Find any accessories. Right there, Application Finder. Whoops. See, you can do Firefox here. or you can do calc. And bring up LibreOffice Calc. So how do you use this to install on the system so it's more Rofi-like and it's I can use shortcut keys for it, stuff like that. Go to keyboard settings. And then you have application shortcuts. Then you add. Then you type in XFCE for XFCE for hyphen, put that hyphen key, app binder. And then you press the key. Now go enter Super D, only because that's the key that Rofi did I use to start Rofi up on my machine. Now you may use different key binding, or whatever you want in there. Whatever you're used to using. Open up your extra menu. And you want to hit save. Oh, we cancel out of this. This is just the edit launcher. And if you hit Super D, it brings right up the application finder. Now, that's the advantage on the application finder is that you use this, you have to put an actual name of the program starting out. You can't just use a thing in the middle of it. So calc doesn't bring up their LibreOffice calculator. Brings up advanced network configuration, which I'm not sure why, but it does. But if you bring in this, calc, bring the LibreOffice calc, you just open it up and run it like that. Now you may have noticed that it has preferences down here. Set preferences to be different things. You can keep all these things here. You can switch them if you think you need it. Small, smaller, very small. I don't know what that's. Maybe you want smaller. And close that out. Now you get smaller icons in here. Categories over here on this side of the thing. And your thing just like if you wanted to use a menu. This is like application finder. You use it to browse for it, or you can type in the thing up here, piece of it, and it'll pull it in. Like app. Pulls up application finder, menu editor, task manager, expert. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? Yeah. Okay, now let's use this function. Go to editor. Go to menu editor. Take a look at that real quick. Yeah, so you go over here. So you wanted to, now that you have this nifty thing, you don't want to accidentally duplicate yourself. So you went over here. You click on this, you get the individual icons in here. The application finder. You can hide from menus. Application finder. Like that. You can close editor. Okay, now here's where you save it. So we saved it. Now if you go over here, it shouldn't be showing up in there. Not there. The first on the list. Likewise, We have the application menu here. An app. And this doesn't show up there either. That's cool. How you can hide certain menu items, or you can edit them, or you can add items. Using the plus sign up in the left top corner of the window. And yeah, RC10 just like a KDE's menu editor and Linux Mint menu editor, those similar type things. So there you go with that. Now we're going to take a look at backgrounds. Let's see, back. Desktop. Yeah, you pull it up, and then you also pull it up just by hitting an empty space here. You right click on there and put it down to desktop settings. Ways and the backgrounds we have available. And this one with the cityscape on the sun setting or sun rising, probably sun setting type thing. We have these that are more design patterns type thing. Yeah, this one which is Manjaro type. These are all standard pretty much Manjaro type of type things here. Yeah, there's not any specific XFCE paper background wallpaper here. Yeah, you probably seen these in all the ones before we did. This one, designs, interesting. Well, display that you're running a Manjaro desktop, this background you use. Manjaro, kind of a interesting TV fuzz look to it, I guess. And of course, ones I'm used to. Here's a Matrix desktop. I'll just go with that for now. How about that? Probably seen most of these backgrounds before, one time or another. So yeah, a gander look at the types of backgrounds I have in here. So there we got Matrix T background. That's cool. And now, so that's XFCE desktop on my computer here, and we'll go back and have a chat about it. So that was Manjaro XFCE, pretty standard, I think you'd say, for a Manjaro distro. And XFCE is pretty good distro overall. And it was my second distro I ever used for my daily driver, which Ubuntu. The last one was the first one. I'm not going in order though. The thing next one I used was Linux Mint after this XFCE. And I like that a lot apparently, obviously. It's a good first distro for a lot of people. Steady, stable, works for most all computers. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So we have that, and anyway, XFCE Manjaro desktop is pretty good desktop entry. Standard set of your main Manjaro background settings. Some nice ones there. So yeah, you've seen on other Manjaro distros I've showed here. So what I think of it overall? Good distro, solid. Yeah, probably be some features I've kind of liked tiling window managers a good bit lately, and so I like distros, like I said before, that use a tiling window manager as part of the workings of the desktop environment. Now I know usually I can just use a tiling window manager period, but I found that using that in combination with a desktop environment like KDE or Pop! OS's Cosmic Desktop works best for me. So your mileage may vary. Probably does, most cases. So yeah, I kind of been there, but I also like to install tiling window managers just by themselves, and I like Qtile and Awesome. They're both good tiling window managers. But you have to kind of know or have some pre-figured configuration files to work with those, especially Qtile. For some reason Qtile doesn't seem to have installations on some distros. Easy to install installations. So Debian basically. The positives is it's of XFCE's desktop is that it's got a low memory footprint. You saw out of the 12 gigs of data I had, so I had a full set. It should have sucked up more now. If I had Cinnamon or KDE, they'd be up at 1.3 gigabytes of data used for memory. But XFCE, without any other programs running, usually you can get around 500 and some megabytes of memory usage, and off of any one, no matter how big your memory is. So that reserves more memory for programs and stuff like that. So that works pretty good. And it's fairly configurable. You kind of won't have to know how to download, install themes and icons and stuff like that, and put them in the directory and add them and all that stuff. And maybe I'll do a video on that at some point, sometime. We'll see. But it's configurable, fairly configurable. Maybe not as configurable as KDE and some of the ones, but it's fairly configurable. And it's a solid distro. Yeah, I could use it pretty easy if I wanted to. And the only downside to Manjaro's version of XFCE is the printer doesn't work out of the box. You have to set it up and get it going. Or you can do it, you even have to enable cups, even though cups install, which I don't understand that. If you install cups, you should enable it and put a printer, at least make it to where you have a print manager there instead of using the web interface, which most people are kind of like, huh, what, web interface? Why do I have to do that? Most people are set. New users on Windows would have trouble with the printers, because you have to go to terminal, they enable it and all that kind of thing. No simple GUI way to do it. And other than that, if you don't need a printer, cool. Yeah, it's all set there. But that's really a Manjaro thing more than an XFCE thing, I think. The other negative is that some of the shortcut keys are divided into two different programs. Stop or open up and change your shortcuts. You have a keyboard to shortcuts, change your applications. You got a window manager to change your Windows shortcut keys. So that's problematic in some cases. I mean, it's not as easy to find things, not all centralized location like KDE or a lot of the other ones like Linux, Mint, and those kind of things. So we'll look at KDE next time. And until then, may the Linux Force be with you. Bye.